Women in Cameroon are breadwinners of their families. They are farmers, workers, entrepreneurs, caregivers for their families. Women have a great role to play in achieving development goals. Women and young girls, especially those in rural settings, face a lot of challenges. Customary law in rural communities presents unique challenges. In that sense, women work on the land, and customary laws reserve exclusive land ownership to male family members. Widows are not entitled to any rights and are at times driven away from their homes or abused by family members. Now, due to poverty and lack of financial means to educate children, young girls are often marginalized. Access to credit from banks is another challenge, especially to women daring in the business world. The program is Turn Up, a program that seeks to empower women and the girl child. Still does. We are celebrating women. It's the 33rd edition of the International Women's Day. It's time for us to reflect on the problems that revolve around women, and on a special Turn Up, a program that seeks to empower women and the girl child. We have invited women to talk about the challenges involving women, because we need to look for a way forward. Women are facing a lot of challenges at their job sites, in their families. We're talking about female entrepreneurs. We're talking about women and politics. We're talking about women and the law. All these issues, women need to know about them, because we're talking of sustainable development. The theme of this year is talking about intensify the fight against discrimination on women, and strengthen and speed up sustainable development. We'll talk about all these issues, and if you want to send your reactions to us, you can write to the number you're seeing on your TV screen. You can equally tag us on our Facebook page. You just need to type Turn Up and you write Canal the English. You're going to have all the past editions of your program Turn Up on Canal the English, a program that seeks to empower women and the girl child. And today we have lots of women to talk about these burning issues. I have two already with me here in the studio. She's called Pauline George. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
You are a female entrepreneur?
Yes.
No, you have other caskets you're wearing that I've not seen.
Many caskets.
Can we know them?
Well, can we start talking about really matters? Then I will introduce myself.
All right. Now we also have another female entrepreneur with us in the studio. She is a woman before becoming an entrepreneur. She's called Ruth Temepie. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Now, how are you today?
I'm good. Thank you.
Love your colors.
Thank you so
now,
much.
we are talking about the 33rd International Women's Day. Now, in your own way, what have you done this time around to impact women around you?
Yes, I think it's time. I've always said it's time for us to have a shift from so many barriers that we used to set on ourselves. And I think we, like the theme of this year, we need to press for progress. We need to move forward in, I don't know, the goals that we had.
Now you're talking about barriers. What are the barriers?
Well, we have like, sometimes as women we sabotage ourselves because we try to limit ourselves to the things that we can do. We try to think that we can't cross some boundaries. We put some boundaries, and I think that it's time for us to kind of like
which means that as a woman they don't believe in themselves.
Exactly, they set limits. They think they can't go past a certain or beyond a certain bar that we set ourselves, like we set on ourselves. So I think that the woman has to believe that they can get to the ultimate, like the highest heights.
Now, for 33 years, we have been observing the International Women's Day. What have we achieved so far? 33 years, the same problems are still coming up. Pauline.
Well, my point of view is so simple. Women are the basic of the world. The women are the basic of everything. But now, what the woman does for themselves, of course, the most enemy of the woman is the woman. You decide today that you want to achieve this kind of goal. Do you know who will be in front of you? They will be your sister. They'll be your friends. Nobody else. We will fight men for nothing. Of course, men will maybe help you to achieve your goal. But now, the problem is, do you believe that you can achieve that goal? First of all, you don't believe on yourself. You don't want your sister to believe on herself. That is our main problem. Woman to start thinking woman before supporting woman. That she should think woman first. Before supporting woman, she should think woman first.
When she's thinking about the woman first, means she's thinking about herself first, loving herself.
If you don't love yourself,
find her talents, and then believe in herself.
Yes. If you don't believe on
have confidence in what she is doing, have confidence in
if
herself.
You don't believe on you, if you don't have confidence on what you are doing, nobody can do anything for you. I will give you a little bit example. You know, I'm Onobiono's sister. Wherever I go, whatever I do, they will say, it's of course she's Onobiono's sister. Do you think she can do it?
Try to.
They always try to bring you down.
So they take your family background and put it in your head.
Yes.
No, that as a woman you have your own style, you have your own identity.
Yes, you have your own identity. You have your own way of thinking. You have gone to school the same way as any others, and prayer many skills. Then today it's up to you to bring people to accept you as a person first, not like a sister of or wife of. That is the first, our first goal.
Who do we blame for that?
Ourselves.
Well,
ourselves first. Ourselves first. I'm sorry to say it. I'm a woman, but sometimes I'm so sorry about myself. Of course, most of our problems ourselves. We don't believe ourselves. We don't believe that we can do things that we have learned for.
Okay. All right. Now I want us to watch this report on this year's team. He's talking about intensify the fight against discrimination and also strengthen partnership to speed up sustainable development. Regina Leke Fonja Tandang is a report on that beat. Let's watch.
Improving the living conditions of women by promoting gender equality is part of the national policy of the Greater Achievement steered by the head of state, His Excellency Paul Biya. Cameroon has ratified the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, but has still not ratified the Protocol to the African Charter on Human and People's Rights on the Rights of Women in Africa. Thus, discrimination against women persists in Cameroon. Violence against women and girls is highly prevalent, in particular within the family, and remains widely socially accepted. There are no laws prohibiting traditional harmful practices such as female genital mutilations and breast ironing, which persist in parts of the northwest and southwest regions of the country. In some parts of Cameroon, women are not allowed to own lands. Women are often victims of prostitution and trafficking, and perpetrators do this with impunity. Most families in Cameroon still favor boys' education if financial resources do not permit sending all children to school. Sexual harassment at workplaces is rife, and there are no laws punishing perpetrators. In Cameroon's penal code, adultery is systematically punishable if committed by a woman, but is only punishable when committed by a man if it is habitual or takes place in the matrimonial home. Abortion is criminalized except if the mother's life is in danger. In politics, women's representation still leaves much to be desired. In a 180-seat parliament, just 55 are women. In a country of 10 regions, all are headed by male governors with no female governor. Out of 360 subdivisions in Cameroon, there are only 8 female divisional officers and only 1 female senior divisional officer in the 58 divisions. As Cameroon joins the world to celebrate the International Women's Day, actors have called for an end to all forms of discrimination against the woman and the need to involve women in the sustainable development in the country.
Welcome back. That was a report by Regina Aleke Fonja Tana. Now back here in the studio. Now I want us to talk about this year's theme. Let's start with discrimination. There are 3 key aspects. We have discrimination, have strengthened partnership, and we have sustainable development. Now I want to start with discrimination. Now when we talk of discrimination, women are discriminated in what aspects? How?
Well, I think there is not a balance in so many aspects in the society when it comes to women leading. I'll talk about politics in Cameroon. Women are not given that chance. So many of them are qualified. So many of them have the
background,
leadership skills to kind of govern, but they're not given that chance. It is true that the discrimination is very, very, very poignant. And then there is discrimination even in our workplaces, where key roles in parastatal companies are mostly reserved for men. We can see that in Cameroon, just about 2%, would say, of women own posts like decision-making positions in big companies,
be it private or public,
or parastatal or whatever you can name. So I think that we need to really work on this. The government needs to look at this as we celebrate these years. It shouldn't be like a redundant thing, because we shouldn't just come up to say we are celebrating the woman. What actions are we putting in place? What are we really implementing these actions? So it should be like proposing, these actions and really implementing them.
Now we're talking about discrimination. Now, where is a woman discriminated? Let's start from the home, because women talk of discrimination in the home. It starts from the home. It takes the woman to the job site. It gets even to society, and then you even feel it in decision, in position of responsibilities. Now, what is the problem here?
Well,
why is nobody believing in a woman?
I just said a few minutes ago, the problem is that the woman should believe on herself first. Of course, she's the one who put the gates.
But you do everything, but nobody is seeing the importance to put you where you're supposed to be. Who should put you there?
No. I'm so sorry to say it once more. Nobody will open a carpet for you. You have to struggle for that.
And what do you do? How do you struggle?
Simple, my dear. If you have an idea, you decide to implement, make it work. You have to fight for it. Nobody will, to the end, nobody will give it for granted. Nobody will give it for granted. Political matters, ladies are not involved. Ladies are not concerned. Most of them are not. They prefer to deal behind the men. Then what do you want men to do? Of course they will go before. Yes, I'm sorry. In few ladies that wake and decide to do it, we can see them. We can see them. The problem today is to say, lady, please stop straightening yourself down. Of course, we are our problem. We are our main problem. We have to tell our junior sister, our younger sister, that they should be proud of what way they learn in the school.
Yeah, it's true that you're saying that the problem of the woman is the woman herself. But don't you think that at one point so society is like pushing the woman to a position where she's not supposed to belong? You have, take for example, in a home, you see all the responsibility and trust, the woman does everything in the house and the man does nothing. You know, right? You come to the job site, you do virtually everything, but it's a man that is leading. The man is there, but the woman can do the same thing. They went to the same university, they have the same degree. She has been working there for over 10 years, but no promotion. Nobody's seen those skills in her.
I'm sorry.
And she has been working hard.
My dear, at home, if you decide that your man will not do anything, then he won't do anything. In my house, everybody share the job. That is how I live. What I'm doing, I will ask you to do the same. I'm sorry. The problem is what? Is mother start with the two children. I have one girl and one boy. When these two are at home, everybody knows that today I will wash the dish, tomorrow my sister will wash the dish. But if you, the mother, every day you say it's your sister who should wash the dish, not the boy, then what do you want the guy to do? The problem is, again, we.
All right. Now, we're talking about a strengthened partnership here. With who are we strengthening this partnership?
With men, of course.
I think it's on two fronts. We need to strengthen partnerships with us, women. We need to support ourselves. We need to create platforms where
discussion.
we are valorized,
yes.
where we are seen, where our works are being featured, our works are being exposed.
Oh, yes.
And we need, on a second level, we need to strengthen partnerships even with men. I mean, it's not, I don't know how to put this, but it's not a taboo for a woman to be at the forefront of whatever society or whatever organization. So strengthening partnerships either with ourselves or with the opposite sex is just, but it should be a normal thing. It should really be a normal thing. But I'll come back to the question you raised earlier about women's roles in houses. I think that a woman, I am not of the school of thought that says that men are supposed to take care of houses. I think women do that better because of the kind of heart we have. I think we take care of homes better. So if we have an added responsibility, that's okay. If we have an added responsibility outside of our homes, I think that's okay, and that has to be valorized as well.
Now, you wanted to react?
Yes, I wanted just to say, when I said you share the responsibility, that means what? That means when you are married, okay, you will not ask your husband to go and wash the dish when you can do it better.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But the problem is that when you are a mother, you have two children that you are trying to bring up, okay? You have to teach all of them how to behave the same way. But if you teach one how to behave as a slave, of course, the woman...
It's not even supposed to be that, because then we're talking about marginalization already. You're telling the girl, look, you need, this is your role.
Oh, so, okay.
Yeah,
the problem is that we should start from the beginning to bring the girls as a responsible person. Now, today, what you are brought with your brother at home, you know exactly what happens. Then you cannot ask that your brother to behave another way. That will be the fault of who? His fault? No, it's the fault of your mother.
All right.
That is why our role, first role, is to take care of our children at home first before going out from it.
All right. Now, I want us to watch this other report. It's a report by Gladys Amuduban. She's trying to look at those careers that some women have dared into, careers that people see just for the men. Let's watch. We'll be right back.
Gone are the days that it was generally taught that specific jobs are meant for men and others for women. Nowadays, women pick interest in men's jobs. An example is this young lady who has for the past 5 years been riding this bulldozer. Lydie Josiane Bella spends all her working days searching and digging filth dumped at this waste discharge and treatment site of the hygiene and sanitation company Isakam. She says a woman is capable of undertaking any job apart from the usual household chores and cooking if at all she has the support of those around her. Unlike other jobs where women are discriminated upon, Josiane feels comfortable and lives in harmony with her male colleagues.
Je m'en sors très bien, je me sens même très à l'aise avec eux.
I am doing well and feel comfortable with my colleagues, especially men. I have learned so much from them. They even encourage me.
Et ils me donnent beaucoup de courage, ils me motivent.
Despite the offensive smell that emanates from the waste, Josiane has no problem exercising her duties. She has no complex in the midst of men. The lady has called on authorities to give women the chance and the opportunity to explore new avenues and exploit their talents rather than prevent them from picking up jobs which they believe is meant only for men. This is another lady who performs what is considered men's jobs. 26-year-old Viviane Pétain is an electrical engineer. She is the only woman amongst men in the company she works for and specializes in rewinding, a job she does on every working day. Her hard work has earned her a promotion to the position of an executive assistant. Viviane Pétain, just like Josiane, says she is comfortable performing the job amongst men who encourage her in what she does out of passion. She urges young girls to also pick interest in these fields where the female folk shy away from.
Welcome back. I have another set of people on the panel. I have a man this time around, and a woman. You see, without a woman cannot work without a man. The team also talks about partnership with men, of course. That's why we have a man in the studio here with us. You're welcome, Bruno.
Thank you, Maureen.
He left all the way for Boya to be part of this program.
Yeah, I'm excited to be on Canada English for my first time, actually, and I must say it's a pleasure to be here.
All right. We also have a lady. She has this association called Better Girls. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Maureen.
Now, how do you do?
I'm fine. It's
now,
a pleasure to be here.
Women's Day, any importance to you?
Well, Women's Day for me is kind of a monotony, and it's a cliche, let me say, because it's true that it is significant to reserve a day where women should be appreciated, but unfortunately we hardly celebrate the day in the right way.
Okay, do you think the message goes down to the roots, to the grassroots?
Yeah,
because women have the impression that all the women in the urban areas, the whole conferences, the whole debates, but women in the villages, they don't get the messages. Is that the impression you have?
That's the impression I have. So that's why for me, it's not of a very, very high significance, because I don't see how it really goes to help the women, because what people put in front of Women's Day is the Women's Day wrapper, for example. It's
which is not important.
Which is not important. Which is the fact that women have to go out and have fun, which is Sulevele Kaba that we hear about every year.
Now, a day like Women's Day to you, how should it be celebrated? What impact? How can women create impact on a day like that?
For me, Women's Day should be celebrated with value, as in people should actually go out there and reach out to women. So organizations like myself, Better Girls organization, individuals should celebrate significantly, make extra gestures to celebrate the women.
By doing what?
By maybe holding seminars. Not everybody has the capacity to hold a seminar, but for example, at home, a man, how do you celebrate your woman, your wife on Women's Day? Just a simple appreciation, maybe a card, to tell her, well, you are a good mother, you are a good wife, I love you. Children, how do you celebrate your mother on Women's Day? Send her a card. You don't have to kill yourself, just a simple card to say, mommy, you are a very good mother, I love you. Women, how do you celebrate? We have friends that have been very good significance to us as women. How do we celebrate them? Reach out to them, tell those women, acknowledge what they do. So for me, that's what I think we should do more. We should acknowledge the women in our lives, especially on Women's Day. Because especially from this part of the country, people don't like to express how they feel about people. Somebody will be helping you and you really genuinely appreciate it, but for you to say thank you to that person, it's like you have to die. The person has to die for you to be able to say that, I know this person helped me to do this and that. When she was alive, what did you do? So on Women's Day, people should take that extra time and actually, the women in their lives, do something to appreciate them. You don't have to have money, just a card, just a message, a phone call. So for me, that's what people should do on Women's Day. It should not be about buying Women's Day wrapper or going to the bar to drink.
We have different social platforms where women could easily reach out to other women, but not every woman has these gadgets, or it's open to technology. Now, what about the woman in the grassroots?
The woman in
because we have the feeling, Bruno, that the women in the grassroots have been abandoned.
Generally, I think if you look at the grassroots, it's almost the same problem that we have in the city. The general concern, as Indira has indicated, is more of I want to wear Women's Day fabric and all of that. And I don't even want to go into the intricacies as to the problems women have with their husbands on this. But I think at the grassroots, the question women should always ask themselves is, how can I use this day to raise awareness on the plight that I have as a woman? How can I use this day, International Women's Day, to actually, they should use it for retrospection.
If every woman at your own small corner,
ask yourself that as we've been a country for the past 56 or 57 years of independence, as a woman, how much distance have we covered in the fight to empower the woman? Even as an individual, as a woman there in a small village, I go to my farm every day, I come back. Am I able to say that as a woman in my own home, I have been able to help myself, to help my fellow woman, to help even my husband or my own children? These are some of the things that women should really start taking into consideration. I'm excited you're talking more about the grassroots and not the city where it's all about using the pen in the office and everything, but women who struggle in the farms every day.
Because we have so many women out there who are struggling in the farms, and we have so many women in the informal sector, and they're contributing for the economic growth of the nation, but those women are being abandoned. Do you think the ministry is doing enough to sensitize women? Well, because we have new teams coming up each year, and last year we had a new team, this year we have a new team. But if you ask the women that last year, what did you talk about, they will not tell you anything. Do you think, is it a matter of changing teams or really educating women on one aspect and moving on to another aspect, knowing fully well that they might have understood what was said last year?
The thing is, I first of all feel that the people who have this power, are they genuine people? Like, how do we actually select the people that the people who are representing maybe women in all these departments? How did they get there? How do we select them? Because I feel like people have different reasons why they get into all these things. And if you're going there not because you genuinely care about these women, but because you want to show good face or because you want to make money for yourself, it's never going to amount to anything. So I feel like the people in power, there should be a certain there should be a certain way, a certain mode of selection. It should not be based on, you know, either because I know this person or because there should be.
We should have the right women to defend the cause of women, be it in parliament, be it at the Senate, wherever the women find themselves. Yes. We dare to carry the problems of women to the right sources. Yes. That's what we're talking about. Now, Bruno, you have an association. You are a member of an association, let me put it that way, that is fighting against violence on women. It's one aspect that women are struggling. They have been struggling for years to combat, but it's difficult to eradicate. Now, can you tell us something about violence on women? What are the statistics?
Well, I think as of now, that's why I was just telling somebody before the program started that women, rather than complaining, should start celebrating now. It's a one battle already, I must tell you. If you look at as of when these whole issues of fighting violence against women started and where we are now, Cameroon has done a lot. They've not done enough, but I want to think that they've done a lot, especially when it comes to eliminating violence against women, giving women opportunity, giving women access to employment. The government of Cameroon and Cameroon as a country has actually done a lot. I think women should start celebrating rather than just commemorating.
Now, when you talk about women should start celebrating, do you have statistics? Now, how do you reach out to these women? Because I have so many of these women who are in the hinterlands.
Exactly.
How do you reach out to them? How do you know that the women don't feel that pinch? They don't experience violence anymore? Now, from how do you measure? How do you draw your measurements?
Anyway, let me speak from LUMEF Cameroon, which is the organization that I represent, and not the government so much. What we do, we have a series of projects that we are implementing that have to do with the elimination of violence against women. The current project, which I want to say is the most ambitious project that has to do with eliminating violence against women in Cameroon, is actually funded by the United Nations Trust Fund to End Violence Against Women. What we do with the project is we actually go into the communities, we identify women who we think are already doing something, especially when it comes to eliminating violence against women. We support them technically and financially. We even look at community groups. In Ekundotiti, we have the Virtuous Women Farming Group. In Ekundotiti, what we do is we give them interest-free loan. When we give them the loan, what we do is we give it interest-free. They take it, they do farming activities, they bring it back to us, it's interest-free, they don't pay interest. We take it and we give it back to them, they expand their activities and all of that. So basically, we just look for women groups that are doing something. Just something little you're doing, especially to empower yourself, to help your community. We come to support them. We also have a lot of other things. For instance, in the current project we're implementing, we have what we call, we are already elaborating a kind of a shadow report for Cameroon. A shadow report, just to explain, is a report. It's not an official report, if you understand. Something is in a shadow, it's not official, it's written mostly by the civil society. So what we do is we do a shadow report to actually see how much work has Cameroon done? How much work is still left to be done in the fight to end violence against women?
How much work is still left to be done? That's the question I'm asking. That's what I'm interested in.
For us to understand how much work is still left to be done, we need to first of all start asking ourselves how much were we supposed to do. The women are the first people that have to.
Are they denouncing the violence? Are women coming to you to denounce violence?
Yeah,
because that is where women.
A lot of them are coming up, and unfortunately, or I should say fortunately, the non-disclosure agreement that most of organizations that work on violence against women have, you don't get to disclose. Because one problem we've realized is that most of the survivors of violence refuse to come up because of the stigma that usually goes with being identified as a survivor of violence. But I want to think that a lot of women are beginning to come up with cases, and we already have a referral network that we've created which supports women when we come up. For instance, we have a series of lawyers, medical doctors, police officers. We give them, they call it pro bono assistance. We as an organization, we support these lawyers who can actually, if a survivor brings a case and it's a case that needs legal assistance, maybe the survivor doesn't really have a lot of money to hire the services of a lawyer. We have a network in which we just say, okay, let's get a lawyer. We give this, we tell the lawyer it's pro bono, we're not paying you, but whatever charges that you need, maybe to file a case in court, to represent this client in court, as an organization, we support them actually. And as I indicated, I've been with LUMEF Cameroon for about 2 years now, and I can tell you we've had a lot of cases, women coming up, and unfortunately, or say fortunately, we don't usually disclose those cases.
They'll still have a long way to go. Now, Better Girls, now we are 33 years on. we're talking about International Women's Day, and then you are out to fight against, let's say, discrimination or violence or whatsoever on young girls out there. Now, what is your balance sheet? What have you done concretely to educate the girl child out there? Because we have rape, we have kidnappings these days. Now, what do you do to educate the girl child? Because we're talking about International Women's Day.
Okay. I came up with this concept of Better Girls Organization because I feel like besides the conventional education which happens in the classroom, there's another way that we can educate people, which is by giving talks, sharing experiences, having one-on-one relationships with people. So Better Girls is actually what we try to do, or what we do is to get people who have women who have gathered experience in particular fields, either because of knowledge they have acquired or because of the experience they have had, to talk to younger girls, to talk to other girls about it. Because we feel like if somebody who has, for example, gone through domestic violence talks to you about domestic violence, shares her experience, tell you what she went through and how she came out of it, it's going to stick more with you. You relate more to it because you are seeing it.
All right.
So that's what we believe in, and that's what we are doing, and that's how we are trying to educate girls.
All right. Now, before you leave the panel, I want you to show your latest publication.
Okay.
It's on women.
It's a community manual. We call it Break the Silence. And as we always indicate, we say real men and progressive communities do not abuse women. It's a production of LUCMEF Cameroon. It's part of the work we do to end violence against women. It's a community manual on the elimination of violence against women. It's not for sale. If you go into LUCMEF office, we are located top floor service.
You're giving it free?
It's free. We're
it's
not
free.
selling.
You're
actually, you can own that copy. What in there, what you will find is you have we've extracted provisions of Cameroon Penal Code and other international legislation like the UN Convention on the Elimination of Violence Against Women. We've extracted them, you have them in that document. We help community members using this document to actually get to understand the law. We we actually work with a series of lawyers to generate this document. So it's a community manual, and as I indicated, it's free. And we also have all the forms of violence that have been locally identified in Cameroon. You will have them in this document.
All right. Now, I want us to watch this report. It talks on the challenges of women, the daily challenges of women. As a report by Annette Fite Sommer. We'll be right back.
Women are involved in all parts of the society, but some matters affect and touch them more than others. Despite many successes empowering the woman, numerous issues still exist in all areas of life, ranging from culture, politics, to economy. Women represent more than half of 1.2 billion African population. African women are in charge with the majority of household and are key food producers, and they represent more than 43% of the agricultural labor force. The African woman faces enormous challenges with regards to the respect, promotion, protection, and fulfillment of human rights. Inadequate allocation of resources, insufficient political will, not forgetting persistent violence, poor health care, unfriendly laws, poverty, bad governance, ignorance, and lack of awareness. When it comes to equality in the distribution of capacities, women tend to hold less secure jobs than men. Though the number of women that hold parliamentary seats has increased due to the creation of legislative and voluntary quotas that requires a certain number of female members, her decision-making power at home remains significantly lower than that of the man.
Welcome back to the studio. We'll have our beautiful women to talk about issues surrounding women. It's the International Women's Day, and we are celebrating women because they are wonderful mothers, they are wonderful partners, they are partners to development, and they are contributing enough to the growth, to the economic growth of Cameroon. Now, we have these women, they are female entrepreneurs. We saw them in the first part of the program. They are back. We have Pauline and we have Pierre. Now I want to talk about the challenges of female entrepreneurs, because we're talking about sustainable development. Now, as a female entrepreneur, what are the challenges you go through? Because I know one of them is access to credit. Now, what are the constraints? What are the bottlenecks?
The bottlenecks is simple. You have to believe about your project and fight for it. Nobody will give you for granted. Nobody will help you if you don't fight for. But what is true, if you fight for, you will find a way and reach what you think is good for you. That is exactly what we should do. Today, as we say before, lady have a lot of challenges. The first challenges is her. When she believe on her, the rest will be easy. Of course, she will take the time. She will do whatever she can to reach the goal.
Now, as a female entrepreneur, what's your experience like in the face of men?
Yes, let me talk a little bit about the challenges. You know, most women, I would say, when you go to school or you do the same education that a man does, you acquire the same skills and the same knowledge that a man has acquired, you definitely have that same capacity to function in whatever role that man functions with. Now, it becomes so much challenging when you want access to capital, for example, you want access to funding, you're considered like a woman. That's like a major challenge that women face. Women face the challenge of making, you know, prospects or clients believe in them, because just for the fact that they are women and because they've been, you know, given that kind of connotation that because they are women, maybe their performance level is low. So those are kind of the challenges that women face. My own experience, for example, I would say it's tough. I have to work twice as men before I get what I want, especially when it comes to like getting clients, getting funding, getting endorsements, like big endorsements. You have to fight wherever a man has to step in, and whatever I have to do, it's always like you have to put an extra push to prove that you can also do that same task.
Now I want to ask, kind of, discrimination on women delays sustainable development?
Yes. Yes. Of course. How come? If you have access on credit the same way like a man, of course
Things will go move.
things will move more faster, more easily. But as she just said, you have to work twice for the same thing, like a man. You have to do the same thing more than a man. You know, I leave my office at 8, sometime 9 p.m. Oh yes. Of course, what I have to do should be done. If you don't do it, my dear, tomorrow you come, start like everybody, but you won't get what you want. You won't get it. Not, of course, you are lazy, but of course you did not give yourself the power and the possibility to achieve what you have to do.
Now, what should the women focus on if they have to really like sustain work for sustainable development? What should women go for? How should they act? What should they do if they have to achieve that?
We're not going to go beside the theme of the celebration of this Women's Day. It is pressing for progress. Despite all the challenges that we have, I think that experience has shown that putting pressure has always produced results. So I think that what we can do to achieve these sustainable development goals is to actually implement whatever we have, actually be like significant contributors to whatever the economy of the nation has planned, we also have a role to play. I think that us playing that role is not going to, we're not going to be limited, because we should all be working for the same purpose.
The same thing, the same purpose.
All right. Now, what is the message to women?
My message to women is simple. Please be yourself and believe on yourself. Believe on yourself. Love yourself first and then believe on yourself. When you believe on you, you can achieve any goal.
Right. Now, what's your message?
Well, I'm going to say that I think the time has come where we need to stop. It's becoming redundant, always talking about women on Women's Day and all that. We've been doing things way before Women's Day, and we keep doing them. It's, for example, like I'm organizing tomorrow the World and the Health and World Conference, and it's platforms like this where we come and exchange it, like tangibly what we know. We come to like dissipate it to our fellow women, and we come to encourage each other.
So now what's it all about?
So the Health and World Conference is organized by my company, Abicom Group, and we actually want to inculcate our know-how. Entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs are coming together to talk about and exchange ideas on how to become financially autonomous.
All right. And where is it taking place? It's in Douala?
Yes, it's tomorrow at 2 p.m. at the Somatel Hotel.
All right. All right. Now,
you see, excuse me.
you want to say something?
You see, this is our fault.
Yeah.
You know, you have not communicated enough for enough people to know exactly. Well, you see, I did not know.
Yeah, maybe I didn't reach you.
You're just knowing right now.
Yeah, you see.
So maybe I didn't reach you, but I did.
Now, I will say Happy Women's Day. I don't know how you're going to celebrate it. Maybe in your own different. Do you have a way of celebrating it?
What other way?
Or just being yourself, reflecting?
Well, it's just to keep, I don't know, working, focusing on your goals, just to, keep pushing.
All right.
Just to keep pushing.
Now, I want to thank you all for honoring our invitation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now, before we go, if you see this wonderful makeup, the women are all beautifully and wonderful. And the person behind this work of art is Joan Afanda Akomfo. She lives in Abonaberry. If you want something like this, then you can join her on the number 677 677190. Repeat again at 677-677190. We want to thank you for watching the program. It's a special edition on women. We have other editions, and next week Wednesday is going to be another live program. We have burning issues to talk about women. It's an electoral year in Cameroon. We have to talk about women and politics.
Yes.
Why are women shying away for politics? That's another burning issue. We'll come with the law. We still have to talk about things around the laws, because there are things that the law in Cameroon is discriminatory on women. That's what most women say. We'll talk about that, because women need to know about the law. Now, we'll end here for today, but knowing that next week Wednesday we'll continue with the program. I love you all. Bye bye. Have a nice time in the company of Canada English. Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
As we prepare to celebrate the International Women's Day, this is the message I have for you, my fellow women.
You need to reflect on how to exploit your God-given talents, equip and empower yourselves so that you can contribute in your own little way to the sustainable development of this country.
Hello to every Cameroonian woman. I know the Cameroonian woman is a very powerful lady, women who have strength, who take initiative, who have a vision. I just want to use this opportunity to say, as a woman, you have to be upright.
Women have been referred to as the mother of humankind, the mother of the human race, the one who knows how to calm storms. Women have been able to calm flaring tempers, and they can do that in every milieu, in every sphere of life, be it politics, be it health, be it education, and why not politics in particular. Women are known to shy away from posts of responsibility, of representing their people in parliament, in councils, and even administrative structures.
They think we can't make it. They think you can't do it. But remember something, you are very awesome. And you are the future of this our nation, Cameroon. You better rise up and fight for your rights.
Believe in yourself. You can be whatever you want to be in the world. You have the right to quality education. You have the right to hold whatever political position you want to hold in your country. All you need to do is believe in yourself, set your goals, and work hard to attain those goals.
That is why you have to rise and shine and make the world a better place to live in. And to all, give the woman an opportunity to show her worth.
I say no to violence against women. I say no to rape of children.
No to discrimination against women. And I say no to violence against women.
Together, we say no to discrimination against the woman. And of course, together, let's work to promote sustainable development in our country.
It is time we move out of the boxes and think big, think about achieving great things.
As a woman, let's stand for our rights and let's know our rights. Together, let's build a stronger nation. Watch Channel every Wednesday live on Canal English. It's 7 p.m. Know your rights as a woman.